Hello everyone! Welcome to Yin Yang and Prosper with me, Susan. In today's video, I am super excited to answer one of my viewers' questions. She asked how to enlighten bad energy areas besides using curing salt. And so there are three things that I want to take out from her question. Enlighten, bad energy, and salt cure. Okay, but first of all, I want to take this moment to congratulate and to personally thank this individual because she used such a powerful and accurate term, enlighten. Because feng shui practitioner, and including myself too, we tend to use the term remedy. And when we remedy bad flying star energy, we are trying to fix it or treat it or, just make it right. But this individual person actually used a much more proper term. Why? Because what is bad energy? What does she mean? What do we mean when we say bad energy, right? I want to take a look at what bad means. So Google defined bad as of poor quality or low standard, or not such as to be hoped for or desired. In other words, unpleasant or unwelcome. So what does that mean? That means my bad definition is probably different from your bad definition, because my low standard is probably different from your low standard, or anything that makes me unpleasant is probably different from you as well. And so I want to take a look at one of the main principles of feng shui, which is also used in a lot of Chinese metaphysics. Okay, and that one of the main principles is Yin Yang. So what is Yin Yang? Yin Yang is a symbol, a principle, or a concept that states that the universe, basically everything, is complex, but also complementary, interconnected, and interdependent by light and dark, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, and heaven and earth. So are you getting it? So thus, this is why we cannot fix, we cannot treat, or we cannot make right of bad energy or negative energy, because we cannot live one without the other. And so we can only assist, help, shed light or dim, whichever you want, of energies that we find unfavorable. Okay, and so we can only balance and complement what we have. So in order to balance and complement flying star energies, we need to take a look at what is important to us at this moment: health and relationships, or wealth and success. This is called a Lou Shou. It is flying star energies for 2021. It's a 3x3 grid that has 9 numbers, and each of the numbers, it's connected to different aspect of life. Each number has different and multiple layers of meanings, and each number has a positive and negative traits or characteristics. And since we're talking about balancing and complementing energies, we want to take a look at one of the layers, the 5 elements. So each of the 9 numbers represent one of the 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And each of the element either supports, oppress, or destroys another element. Okay, and so let's take a look at the number 5. Feng Shui practitioners focus and emphasize a lot on the number 5 because it is known for its characteristic, its negative characteristic. The number 5 can cause huge financial loss. It can cause severe illnesses and lots of accidents. It can cause obstacles in success and relationships. Okay? But it also, like yin and yang, it also has a tiny itty bitty positive traits, okay, that no one seems to talk about. Okay? It does have a little wealth in the number 5, but the majority characteristic of the number 5 is very, very harmful. It has negative energies. The number 5, also known as 5 yellow, is an earth element. And so when we take a look at our options and we decide what's important to us, then, and if we decide to support this 5 earth element, we support it by adding more earth element, or it's better to add fire elements because fire supports earth. But since 5 yellow has negative characteristics, negative attributes, and negative effects, we want to reduce or oppress it with metal element. However, we don't want to use wood because wood destroys earth. And we don't want to use destruction because it's much harder to control. Okay? And so what we want is we want to strive for balance and harmony. Okay? And other flying stars that we want to look out for are the number 2, the number 3, and the number 7. So a total of 4. 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay? But the main one is the number 5. Okay? And the 2 and the 3 and the 7, it really just depends on what is important for you and what you want to balance, okay, or control. Okay? And remember, if you do choose to suppress or reduce the number 2, 3, 5, and 7, remember to use opposing element, not destructive, okay? Okay, so now that we know that the southeast has negative attributes and severe illnesses and catastrophe energies, it also doesn't mean that we start putting a whole bunch of metal elements into the southeast corner or the southeast area too. We still have to look at the different layers of energies and how they react with one another. Remember the yin yang, balance and interconnected and interdependent, they depend on one another. Okay? And so I actually did a recent Facebook Live about my money corner, and the whole theme of my live was to show that I had to reduce activating my wealth corner. Although the annual energy and the monthly energies are auspicious, which they have good wealth energies. But with those combined with the permanent energy of my home or in that area, it actually caused violence and anger energies. And so with that, I made the decision and I decided to cut back on activating my wealth energy because I chose peace over wealth. Example time. Let's look at this combination, the number 7 and 5. And just remember, with Flying Star Feng Shui, there are actually multiple layers of energies to look at. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll just be looking at this combination, the number 7 and 5. The number 7 is a metal element, and the number 5, of course, is an earth element. And both the number 7 and 5 have negative attributes. They're both unfavorable energies. Okay, of course, the number 5 is the 5 yellow, and the number 7 is also known as the number 7 robbery star. So what do we do in this situation? We want to stay away from using fire and wood elements because fire destroys metal and wood destroys earth. We want to stay away from destruction, again, because destruction is more difficult to control. Okay, and so this is where we have to pick and choose our battle. What do we want to handle? Which element we want to handle? The number 5 or the number 7? There are 2 ways to handle this situation. Number 1, just let it be. Just leave number 7 and number 5 alone and let them run their course. So, depending on our heaven luck, earth luck, and mankind luck, the number 7 could reduce the number 5, leaving some 5 energies for us, or the number 5 could support the number 7, leaving more of these 7 energies for us, or both 5 and 7 could affect us equally. Or the second way is to add water element. By adding water element, water reduces the number 7 metal. And again, depending on our heaven luck, earth luck, and mankind luck, there are 3 endings. Either the number 7 metal exhausts itself by reducing the number 5, leaving some 5 energies for us, or the number 5 supports the number 7 metal, leaving some number 7 metal for us. But then again, there is still that water element that is reducing the 7 as well. Or some number 7 and all of the number 5 could affect us as the end result. And so, like I said, pick and choose our battle. What do we want to do? Which energies do we want to reduce? But in the end, there will always be some challenging energies left for us. And this is where Salt Cure comes in. So what is Salt Cure? Salt Cure is actually a tool made up of salt, water, and metal. And those 3 ingredients are placed into a glass jar. And so what it does is salt has properties that can absorb negative energies. And with the help of water and metal, it transmutes or it changes those negative energies into crystals. And so what it does, and this is where I completely understand and I appreciate why this individual want to opt out of using Salt Cure. Because these crystallizations that are formed outside of the glass jar. It has negative effects on whoever touches those crystals or those crystallizations. And, you know, placing salt cure and handling salt cure has to be done specifically and meticulously. If not, you know, it can harm us as well. Okay. And with pets and kids around, it's harder to control pets and kids and stop them from touching the salt cure. So that's why I understand, and I appreciate, you know, and I understand where she's coming from of having to opt out salt cure. So kudos to you, my dear friend. I do appreciate your question, and I get excited answering these questions. And for anyone else who has questions and who would like me to talk more about certain topic, comment below, okay? And don't forget to like this video. Until then, I wish you all health, wealth, and prosperity.